by security from the evening of the 14th January 2021 until a court order was issued on Monday 25th January 2021, withdrawing the security personnel from his residence. I would like to urge the administrative and security authorities to respect the rule of law and safeguard human rights. In the meantime, I direct the Committee on Human Rights to take stock of the human rights violations that marred the electoral process and report back to this House within 1 month. I'm also aware that owing to the election program, the time for consideration of the National Budget Framework Paper for 2021 to 2026 has been severely shortened, but we are guided by the time frame stipulated in the Section 9(8) of the Public Finance Management Act and Rule 144(3) of the Rules of Procedure that require the House to approve the National Budget Framework Paper by the first day of February in any given year. As such, I urge members to expeditiously consider the report of the Budget Committee on the National Budget Framework Paper in compliance with the requirements of the law and the Rules of Procedure. As you may be aware, the term of the 10th Parliament will end in May 2021. An examination of the status of business in the committees and the House reveals that at least 26 bills still pending in various committees and 3 bills are before the House. Among those that are ready, and I want to give notice to the sector ministers, the Succession Amendment Bill 2018, Administration of Estates, Small Estates, Special Provisions Amendment Bill 2019, the Administrator General's Amendment Bill 2019, Estates of Missing Persons Management Amendment Bill 2019, the Probate Sealing Amendment Bill 2019, the Succession Amendment Bill 2019, and the Uganda Red Cross Society Bill 2019. I therefore implore the chairpersons and members to expeditiously handle that which has not yet been concluded. Honourable members, I have received a letter from the Honourable Minister for Presidency, Honourable Sambayo, seeking the support of this House to assist in Uganda's hosting the 21st edition of the International Conference on AIDS and STIs in Africa, ICASA. This request is premised on the decision by the Society for AIDS in Africa to revoke the right of Uganda to host the ICASA conference due to the rights in November 2020 and the resultant dates. The rationale for your support joined the solidarity with other stakeholders in strengthening the national HIV response. On October 23rd, 2020, I received a petition from the National Union of Drivers, Cyclists and Allied Workers. On 18th November 2020, they wrote to me again, seeking our support for the resumption of operations of interstate business that ply cross-border routes in the East African region. They pledge to observe standard operating procedures issued by the Ministry of Health and request us to consider the plight of bus owners who have outstanding loan obligations, staff maintain who have lost their income over time. So I want to really ask the National COVID Task Force to take a review of all those areas that have not been released. It's possible that some areas may have been forgotten and people are suffering. So I want to ask the National Task Force, please move quickly on that review and facilitate a resumption of normalcy within the economy. As the tenure of the 10th Parliament draws near, I take cognizance of the need to expedite amendment of parts of our rules of procedure to improve the operations of the House. I therefore direct the Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline to expedite the compilation of those proposals for amendment and report back within 1 month. While we're on recess, I also want to inform the members of the House that His Excellency the President has returned the Landlord and Tenant Bill, and I just want to read the letter. It's just in 2 areas, one on the interpretation section, another one on clause 15.1. The letter reads, I have received the Landlord and Tenant Bill for my assent. I have, however, identified the following issues that Parliament need to consider. 1, in part of the bill, it provides for the interpretation of the meaning of business premises and residential premises. in view of changes in the working environment as a result of COVID-19, the interpretations therein should factor in the emerging trend of home offices and homestay tourism, as more business professionals and e-commerce enterprises switched homekeeping on account of COVID-19. The definition of residential premises should be expanded to accommodate the mixed use of houses for residential and office businesses that don't require physical interface with customers. Secondly, Clause 15.1 of the bill provides that tenants should not use rented premises or permit their use in a manner that causes a nuisance to any occupier of neighboring premises. This clause presumes that physical planning by local government will adhere to the separation of residential and commercial areas and rule the same in the issuing of trading licenses to avoid situations whereby one licensed commercial activity, such as a bar, ends up becoming a nuisance to another activity, such as a residential house, that is equally licensed by the same local government. In addition, not enforcing noise pollution bylaws and standards is currently a major nuisance and public health concern for the majority of the urban dwellers. I'm therefore returning the said bill to you for that purpose. The relevant committee should, the minister should arrange to lay the bill again so that those two clauses can be handled. Now, on our members, during the recess, we lost a number of people in the country, members of parliament, from the clergy, spiritual leaders, cultural leaders, and many senior citizens. I want to ask you to observe a moment of silence in their honor. But in the meantime, I'm giving notice to the House that on Tuesday, 2nd February 2021, at 10 a.m., we shall have a special sitting to tribute two foreign members, namely the Right Honorable Second Deputy Prime Minister and Minister with that portfolio, Honorable Alhaji Ali Kirunda Kivejinja, and the Honorable Robina Sentongo, former district woman MP of Chotera. Thereafter, the House will resume its normal session at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Thank you. Now, honourable members, there were a few matters of national importance. However, the first one, sorry. Let's stand for a minute of silence.
May their souls rest in eternal peace.
I want to thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and to join you in congratulating colleagues who have made it back to the next Parliament. I feel sorry for colleagues who, on account of different reasons, were unable to go through. Madam Speaker, in your communication, you've spoken about the violence and violations of rights, and given the Committee on Human Rights a month to investigate and report to Parliament. Madam Speaker, my concern, there are violations that may not wait for even a month. 3 days ago, military men came to Kireka Central Market, kidnapped one of the vendors. We've gone to every police station in the area. They don't know where this vendor is. But I've also seen media reports of these kidnappings taking place almost every now and then, using these vehicles that have been baptized drone. They simply pounce on an area, pick someone, and take them away. Madam Speaker, as you instructed the committee, I beg you, Madam Speaker, to instruct the Minister of Internal Affairs, first to help us identify where these people have been taken, but also to assure the country. Because I was watching one of the television stations in the evening, people are sleeping outside. Their relatives have been kidnapped, and they are also under the threat of being kidnapped. We are in very extreme conditions. You don't know what tell them. Police is become helpless. So, Madam Speaker, I beg you to instruct the Minister to come and tell us whether we should migrate to Congo or seek refuge elsewhere. Because if you can't sleep in your own house, in some cases they have been breaking into houses and dragging out either husbands or children. Madam Speaker, that is my prayer. Thank you very much.
By any chance, do you have the name so that can help us, the name of the vendor, so it can help us trace him or her?
Madam Speaker, I'm going to bring his photographs and the name in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, and I thank the colleague for raising the issue. Right Honourable Speaker, yesterday whoever was on TV watched the Minister, and the Minister was getting information from the media yesterday, and he was equal asking Madam Makulo the other side, the IGP the other side. He was asking everybody when they were asking him about those people that are getting lost every hour and every day. So, Madam Speaker, my addition is that as the Honourable colleague has asked the Minister to come, the Prime Minister is in here, Madam Speaker. Let the Prime Minister take interest in this, because it's a serious issue, a very serious one. So we wish the Prime Minister to pick interest and help the Ugandans. Otherwise, if we leave it to the Minister, yesterday the Minister seemed very, very ignorant about what is going on in this country. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, in the same vein, I saw in my constituency policemen wondering what was happening on polling day. That the DPC, the RDC, is not aware of some security operatives in the constituency. And they are telling him, you are not our commander. People are being arrested, taken away by some people in UPDF uniform, but the DPC is not in charge. So whereas we are talking about the Prime Minister taking interest, we also want the IGP to tell us whether he's in charge of security in this country, whether he's in charge of internal security in this country, or whether he has given it up and somebody else is in charge. Otherwise, you would see police in Buweju County helpless, and somebody else is saying, I am the commander in this operation.
I don't know whether the Prime Minister wishes to say something about this issue.
Right Honourable Speaker, colleagues, I note the points that have been raised by colleagues concerning the security issues. It is right that the responsible minister and indeed the government takes interest, and we always do anyway. It's the right of the obligation of government to protect Ugandans. And when any Ugandan is affected, yes, government must get involved to know why and take appropriate action. So the Minister responsible for Internal Affairs will be able
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister and Right Honourable Speaker. The clarification I'm seeking from the Prime Minister, we have been in elections, the President was busy campaigning, the Speaker was not there, at least you didn't campaign. Are you getting this information for the first time, or you have been aware of what is taking place? That's the clarification I'm seeking, because the way you are responding, it seems you're not aware of what is happening. But we know you are the Prime Minister who should be following what is taking place in the country. So my clarification, Prime Minister, Are you hearing this problem for the first time? Thank you. Right now, Speaker.
Prime Minister, please conclude.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm hearing the case raised by Honorable Semuju for the first time, yes. Nevertheless, government has closely followed any case where the people of Uganda, their security has been affected. Secondly, the question of the Minister of Internal Affairs consulting IGP or the head of heads of different departments is normal, is perfectly in order that political leaders may from time to time, as necessary, seek information from the officers that are technically responsible. Finally, let's wait for a statement on the matter from the Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs, and then if there is need, there can be further discussion on it. Nevertheless, government takes this matter of security, as we all know, for all Ugandans very, very seriously.
So, now members, the Minister of Internal Affairs is directed to come to this House on Tuesday to give us a report on the issue of the missing vendor, but also the violations of human rights during the election period. That one, I think, doesn't need time to consult. It is in the past. So, Tuesday next week. Honorable Saungu.
The vendor who was kidnapped, his name is Sharif Kato, and he was kidnapped on Sunday.
Okay. Thank you. That will now add to our records for the ease of the work of the Minister of Internal Affairs, establish the whereabouts of Sharif Kato. Yes.
So, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Also in the same spirit, I want to congratulate you on the success of winning your district, plus all those members who made it, and those who didn't. Let me also be in the same spirit like others have stated. I also thank God for bringing me back to Parliament. Right now, Speaker, I'm raising a matter of national importance. Schools were closed in March, and indeed, it was necessary. However, there is a very big problem. Parents don't know the state of schools as we talk now. What is happening, Madam Speaker? Some schools have begun. They are teaching behind closed doors, and there is no official communication from the Ministry of Education or government. We want to know, it is almost coming to a year when children are not going to school. Those who were allowed to go back as candidate classes, we've not got any report concerning the effects of COVID around them, and now they are moving. Madam Speaker, as we talk now, the internet system is not working very well. Some institutions had resumed using Zoom. Now, we don't know, when you go to Rwanda, Kenya, our neighbors, Tanzania, children are learning. But the state of children at school, at home, is a very big problem, and there is nothing being shown by government that I can take the information, being shown by government that there is any hope. Yesterday I saw the Minister of Education, Self Education, Doctor. Let me take the information first.
Yes, information, right, Honorable Speaker. The information I want to give my colleague, as a teacher and as a chairman of many private schools, the government of Uganda assured financial institutions that they reschedule loans up to January 2021. And as we speak now, right, Honorable Speaker, I called the Honorable Sewungu over this matter today morning because I was still far. That's why I'm sure he allowed me to give information. Many schools have now started receiving letters from banks and other financial institutions telling them there's no any need to reschedule because the government assured us that schools will open in January. Now what is going to happen to many institutions if the banks are not even aware, directors of schools are not even aware, parents don't even know exactly when to start? That's the serious concern, and that's the question I wanted to give to my president.
Further information. Madam Speaker and my colleagues, I am born at the border of Kenya and Uganda. Kenya has opened schools. Every morning, more than 5 coaster vehicles and buses come to Busia, Uganda to pick children to go and study in Kenya. And as the situation is going on, the parents who are Ugandans in Busia are wondering what is happening with Uganda, because as I talk now, the National COVID-19 Task Force is very silent on issues of education. No statement at all. 1 year, parents have been left in darkness. One complete year, children have gone to child labor, children are getting pregnant, children have become hawkers, and business is just as normal. Therefore, I would like to inform the whole country and my colleagues who are here, Madam Speaker, that Kenya, where education is going on, there are no cases at all that are being reported, and because they are observing SOPs. Why don't we do the same so that we take back our children to school? Parents have children fatigue sitting in their homes, and we see this is going to bring educational gap between our children. So that's my information.
Right now, Speaker, as I conclude, I think these ministers should be independent of themselves. Makerere University, they have already given a circular to students that they are going to get orientation online, but Zoom is not functioning. When you go to MOOBs, parents have already paid for hostel fees and admission fees to start studying, but they cannot access institutions. Now, we cannot, some of us who are professionals, who know education, we cannot keep in this kind of situation, Right Honourable Speaker and the Prime Minister. Let us know the fate of our children, because we are killing children. And there is no indicator whatsoever in any district that there is anything taking place to prepare schools for reopening over the term since they were closed. So,
can we ask the Minister for Education?
Madam Speaker, here's a small information, and this is a very, very serious matter. For some of us, teachers are suffering.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Song, for giving way. Madam Speaker, what is really annoying us is that many international schools are operating. International schools are operating. But when it comes to local schools, the government is quite silent. And there are few Ugandans who can afford international schools. My humble request, Madam Speaker, we know we are living in the era of COVID, but we must know how to live with COVID, because we don't know at what time COVID will really be part of history. Therefore, let us ensure that schools are opened, and also the government directs banks, if they are not really sure that the schools are going to open next month, therefore let them direct the banks so that they can reschedule the loans for the school institutions.
Further information, Madam Speaker, schools closed when parents had just paid fees. When we took back candidate classes, that money was never considered. The case of MOOBs, we've just paid money because they admitted students, and they said they are starting on February 1st. Even paid for hostel. Now there is a statement in the newspapers that universities have been stopped from reopening. What will be the fate? Because each new student at MOOBs pays 2 million shilling, and then you go and pay for hostel. People have borrowed. We have already lost money we paid before the term was interrupted. Now more money is being paid. Can government tell us what's going to be the fate of people's money that they are paying now without guidance?
So, Madam Speaker, as I conclude, let me read this message. And this is where my daughter is studying from, Primary 1. Dear KJA, Kampala Junior Academy parents, that's Kampala Junior School. E-classes for third term are starting this Monday, 1st of February 2021. Kindly register to join the program, and the numbers are given. Now, if you are telling Sewung, a professional teacher, that a child in the P1 is going to be attending classes on e-learning, and the third term, what kind of confusion are we facing? E-learning for P1 kids. That's why we fought the 320 billion of buying radios for children learning. This money would have been sent out to help prepare schools for first term by this time. Right Honourable Speaker, thank you for giving us this time, but we are in a dire state, and it seems government is quiet. Honorable Miyingo, when you watch him on TV, he's not himself talking about education, yet he's a professional. He's not himself. I don't know why. The answer will come here. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honourable members, Prime Minister, I believe the country would like to know where we stand. Are we opening? Are we not opening? What are the circumstances? It's really urgent that government makes a statement on this issue.
Well, I agree with you, Right Honourable Speaker, but I want to correct a picture that has been presented here, that a lot of things are happening in education, but government is just keeping silent. That is not correct. What is the correct position? One, since the beginning of the pandemic, the education sector has been thoroughly monitored and assisted by government. Number two, it is true that those candidate classes that are due to do the exams, while the rest of the students were at home, schools were opened for them so that they can be able to complete their syllabuses and be adequately prepared to sit for their final exams. Government is monitoring the situation, and by the way, even one of the issues discussed in Monday's cabinet meeting was the question of schools and when to reopen the schools. The matter is still under discussion. We are involving the scientific team that is handling and advising government on COVID, so that the decision we take is a well-considered decision that will be good for the students, for the parents, and for the country. And by the way, the question of school fees and other related financial matters, the Ministry of Education and the government will do its best to ensure that with the parents, this matter is properly sorted out for the benefit of all of us.
Madam Speaker, thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, if this can help, I would want to propose that the Right Honourable Prime Minister comes back with a comprehensive statement, or a proper one. Let him not say, I'm going to delegate this to internal affairs, to education. It's the leader of government business. We have this weekend on Tuesday, the Right Honourable Prime Minister comes back here with a statement on the issues that have been raised on education. Because now we are hearing here that people students are supposed to come, they should register online, internet is off. So it should come with all those things. The issues of the masks, we read yesterday in the Ministry of Health. We passed money, 89 billion for masks. Yesterday, the Permanent Secretary of Health was lamenting that there is a debt of 35 billion. It's only 71 districts that got masks. What happened? So these are the issues, the issue of human rights that you have raised here. The Prime Minister should bring a statement here on behalf of the government covering these areas on Tuesday, such that we are able to, from there, raise other supplementary questions and the country gets to know which way we are going. Otherwise, the way we are moving is like we have left everything to God to handle. Yet some of the things you don't have to bother God. The Prime Minister can be in a better position to help God rather than disturbing him and assert and bring to the attention, and the country gets to know how to move in terms of education, in health, on the human rights, and any other business that members have raised here. Right Honourable Speaker.
Yes,
Right Honourable Speaker, it's unfortunate that we are taking a lot of time on this issue, and we request in good spirit the Prime Minister to understand where we are coming from. Right Honourable Speaker, I have a kid I pay for studying from Bustema University. We were forced to buy smartphones in November because the communication was clear. If somebody cannot access the e-learning on smartphones, we repeat the class. So we had to buy smartphones because these students, we are going to repeat classes. Now we want the Prime Minister and the government, for areas where you don't have information, take the information so that we put right things that are wrong. Otherwise, Prime Minister, you can insist the way you are insisting and everybody can insist, but things in this country, as far as education is concerned, are not right at all. Every school is doing what it wants. Everybody is doing whatever it feels like. Private schools are doing their own things. They are managing from maybe another planet. Information?
Right, Honourable Speaker, I want to inform the Honourable Member that what the Prime Minister is saying is not very true. It is again this House, Madam Speaker, that fought to bring back candidate classes for exams. Then, Madam Speaker, in education at a district level, communication is done through circulars that come from the ministry. When you don't have any communication coming from government, the lower sectors of education, there is no official communication at all. Now, the Prime Minister is here. He would have come to you first to give us information about what is taking place. But we are raising it as matters of national importance. And is raising defenses after we have given our problems. The issue, Mr. Prime Minister, you are not coming out very fast to handle issues that must be dealt with clearly. Because you are the leader of government business. So, what are we saying? There is nothing happening. There is no communication. Even the minister on TV, if he has to tell us the truth. But you are ever sitting in the cabinet. When you tell us about cabinet now, what do we get from you? This matter is not about DP, NUPU, or what. It is about our children and the future of our children. It must be official from districts. But if districts are doing different things and they are not aware of what is taking place, then there is no communication. That's what we are saying, Mr. Prime Minister.
Okay. Honourable Pachito, and then we'll close with the Prime Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you upon winning elections and all other colleagues here for having participated in the recent elections. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to appreciate members who have raised this issue about school reopening. But I want to draw attention of the House to the fact that we didn't only go through COVID-19 in the last 1 year, but about half of the country was flooded. And a number of government institutions, including schools, have been submerged into these floods. I just want to know from the Right Honourable Prime Minister what plans government has for those schools that have been submerged as they plan to reopen schools. What plans do they have for our children? Where do they go to school? Right now, in some parts of this country, even for candidate classes that have reopened, our children have failed to go back to school because they have to cross number of water bodies using boats, and parents can't manage. So I need to get that clear from the Prime Minister, the plans for the flooded schools as they reopen. Where do our children go? Thank you. Yes, I can take it.
Honourable members, I remember the Minister of Internal Affairs, sometime back, I think in October, came to the floor of this House and said it's going to address the issues of the areas which are flooded. But the report has never come. I think we need that report. This was another taking in October. Prime Minister, I think you can see another very important issue. I think should have an official government position such to guide the country. Next week, Wednesday? Okay, let's put on Tuesday. Okay, Honourable Kibalia, 2 minutes. Yes.
The question of Tuesday, let's not congest Tuesday with too many things. Let's give time to responsible government ministers and ministries to thoroughly look at the issues, and in the course of the week, and we can agree on the actual timing,
Clarification.
they will come and give exhaustive information
Clarification.
to honorable members and to the country.
See, the clarification, Prime Minister. You have parents who are paying fees right now. You are saying you will go and the cabinet takes time. What can you tell them? Do they continue paying fees or they don't?
I propose that Thursday would be an appropriate day for proper answers to these points raised.
Madam.
Madam Speaker, let me congratulate you and all the colleagues who went through in the election. But I would like to inform the Prime Minister that Thursday is already 4th February. Why can't we bring it to 2nd February to also help us? You must know that equality of a population of a country is judged by the education. And so let us prioritize it. You cannot say that Tuesday is congested. That means that you are not prioritizing education. Let us prioritize education. We can now see very clearly that putting a minister with very many private schools means that he can actually compromise certain things in education. So it is now work for you to do it. Let us prioritize education. We want the quality of our population to continuously improve instead of going backwards. We don't want to take steps backwards.
Honourable members, the statement on education should come on Wednesday. Thank you. Honourable Kibalia, 2 minutes.
Procedure, Madam Speaker.
We're on the side.
Madam Speaker, procedure. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. On Wednesday, we have local council elections. And we're going to, it's a real better, all of us must vote. And I would suggest that, Madam Speaker, before you rule, that if we have elections on Wednesday, and the Minister of Education has been around since memorial, and I'm sure they have been also grumbling with this matter, and I'm certain that by Tuesday morning, they could be ready. Even tomorrow they can be ready. Because what we're talking about is a very serious matter. And that's why, for me, I feel hard that having ministers who have no children going to school because they have passed the age, they are not really concerned about the people of Uganda. Because if they had a kid who is going to school, they would have got concerned. And so, Madam Speaker, would it be procedure right that on Tuesday, even tomorrow we could come, that they come and brief us, because it is a serious issue. And the Prime Minister went to Mwiri, and Mwiri has been destroyed and paid for by government. For him, he has finished. He has all his children have finished outside the country, but the majority of us have our children here, and we are suffering. So wouldn't it be procedure right that on Tuesday or tomorrow we have this report, Madam Speaker?
I've read the rule that we shall have it on Wednesday. It's urgent. Honourable Kibalia, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the matter of national importance that I raise concerns the customer-funded electricity connection program that was begun by this government in 2018. Right Honourable Speaker, the government, in a move to intensify electricity and have the poor Ugandan from Bugabula South also enjoy what is enjoyed in Kampala, agreed to have free connection for whoever had no long distance to have power connected to his house. Right Honourable Speaker, on 9th December 2020, Electricity Regulatory Authority wrote to all sections in the country saying they had suspended the program for free connection, and whoever wanted to have connection of power to his house was supposed to pay, if you didn't require a pole, 720,883. If you had a pole that didn't require insulation, you were to pay one pole without insulation, you were to pay 2,387,472. If the one pole required insulation, you were supposed to pay 2,741,188. Right Honourable Speaker, in a situation where COVID has really destroyed the country, and people spent little money in wiring their houses, expecting free connection, and all of a sudden, the program is stopped. And the reason was simple, Right Honourable Speaker, that government, since that program was put as a policy, it had not paid ERA any little coin to fund the program. So that's why ERA had no option apart from suspending the program. So, Right Honourable Speaker, this leaves information.
Information from Honorable Kisa.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker, and my colleague for giving way. The information I want to give you also concerns citizens who had paid for connection previously, and up to now, it is almost coming to a year, UMEME failed to give them power. And when they were making such a pronouncement, such citizens were not considered in as far as whether they will get electricity or they are going to pay again. So that is the dilemma Ugandans are in. Thank you so much.
Thank you, colleague. Right on, I thank the colleague for the information. Right Honourable Speaker, in the same spirit, the letter that was written had the clause of those that had applied and wished to do the self-funded connection. And they said they follow in the same category. Whether you had applied or not, whether you had paid the 20,000 that was required before or not, even if you had applied 3 years ago, you were to pay the same amount of money like somebody who is applying now. That is what the letter says. So, Right Honourable Speaker, since the Prime Minister is here and the Cabinet, because I see most of the ministers are here, we need to get the position of government as far as this is concerned. Before Parliament closed, Right Honourable, before we went for recess, there was a motion that had requested government to really look into the situation of having Ugandans access free power and water, and it collapsed. So in this line,
no, but there is.
Thank you very much for giving way. Madam Speaker, this is all over the country. So many people have paid, but up to now, they are not connected. But maybe the reason as to why there is a delay in UMEME, we would like to know whether UMEME contract, because there was some kind of confusion in as far as UMEME contract is concerned. The government should come out and tell us what is the position of UMEME. Is UMEME still in control, or they got another service provider?
Our prayer, Right Honourable Speaker, is government to come to the rescue of the consumers and live to the expectations of the policy of 2018, so that consumers and Ugandans can, in the little way, just the little spirit, just benefiting, having free power really. Does government feel this is too much to have Ugandans enjoy? That's our prayer, Right Honourable Speaker.
Now, Honour Members, before we went for the elections, this matter had been raised and we're expecting the Minister for Energy to come and give us an answer. It is more urgent now because there seems to be no clear position on the way forward on free power connection. So the Minister of Energy should come and update the House on this situation Thursday next week. Honourable Mbwa.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, the matter of national importance is about the Myoga money. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, you are aware how the President promised Ugandans, mainly the vulnerable groups, how to access the Myoga money. But Right Honourable Speaker, the money has become more political. They only tell people they are supposed to access the money. People have sold their land, goats, pigs, rabbits, dogs, etc. Right Honourable Speaker, my concern is, on top of being promised to access this money, one,
People don't know how much they are supposed to benefit. Each group is not aware how much they are supposed to benefit. Secondly, they've even been told to open bank accounts with Microfinance Support Center to co-fund. Some are told to co-fund 100,000, 300,000, start saving. And one wonders, if really government wants to get people out of poverty, you're telling someone, even a group, to save 100,000. If they had 100,000, they would have even gotten themselves out of poverty. But government, my government is trying to cheat my constituents, Ugandans. It is like previously when we had COWE. If you do remember a credit scheme which was
Thank you, colleague, for giving. Right, Honorable Speaker, what is very interesting in this Myoga scenario, they say it's at constituency level. I'm the chairman of the constituency called the Bugabula South constituency, but I don't know even a single group that is supposed to benefit. I've not been briefed of anything, any step, anything that is going on, but you hear Myoga in the office of the RDC, in the office of the Minister of Microfinance. The Minister of Microfinance will also direct his things from Chotera and govern things in Kamuli. It's a very funny scenario, but the president will be on the TV. The president will be there, and for him, he will be clean. Myoga money is coming. For you, you go to address people, they ask you about Myoga money. They have spent their money, as the Honorable Mbwa said. Really, Madam Speaker, people have invested, they have bribed, because there is a lot of bribery in that system of Myoga.
Thank you so much, colleague, for giving the information. Right, Honorable Speaker, what is more hurting? Some ministers, their constituencies, like Honorable Aruna Kasoro, we could see him over the TV giving out money for Myoga because for them they are special. But the rest of Ugandans have not benefited from this money, Right Honorable Speaker, including my constituency, Right Honorable Speaker, and even Kamuli, Right Honorable Speaker. So, Right Honorable Speaker, my prayer is government should come up immediately. They should inform this House how much, which both Igala West and Kasambia. So, Right Honorable Speaker, government should tell this House how much each group is supposed to benefit, and what is the essence of co-funding if they really want to get people out of poverty. 1 microsecond. And again, when are we accessing this money? Are we, is the government going to keep on singing Myoga, 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 Myoga? It is too political. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Okay, Right Honorable Prime Minister, during the campaign period, I was asked many questions about the Myoga, so I invited the Minister for Microfinance to come to Kamuli to address our people, but I see a complication in the bureaucracy because you can only access through an apex organization at the top of the constituency. So a peasant in this sub-county must do another peasant, another one, and they form a body. I found it really too bureaucratic. I don't know whether I can review it, but for me it was very unsatisfactory that I must form a constituency association before I can get money. Maybe you may want to look at it, but the Minister for Microfinance should come and update the House on this issue. He should come and update this House on Thursday next week. Onosebagala, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Allow me also to congratulate you, Madam Speaker, and honourable colleagues who made to the 11th Parliament. Madam Speaker, as you are aware, Uganda was supposed to participate in Dubai 2020 Dubai Expo. But due to COVID, Dubai Expo was postponed. But my greatest concern, Madam Speaker, is that we are given one of the prime areas in Dubai simply because of our good relationship with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Madam Remy, and we are given a very good area for our stall as Uganda. And many countries displayed and also decorated their stalls. Madam Speaker, the information we are getting right now, is that Uganda's stall is the only stall which is not decorated, and they are thinking about degrading us to areas that are far from the prime area that was given to us as Ugandans so that we can market our products from agriculture to other products, Madam Speaker. And we are just lucky that COVID came in and then they postponed. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, we are a country that is involved in agriculture. And we were supposed to use this chance to export and also to display our potential in that World Dubai Expo. Speaker, from the Prime Minister, their preparedness and readiness, and whether the other so that was given to us is not going to be taken away because of our reluctance to decorate and also ensure that we are ready.
Honourable members, the last time we discussed this issue, the House had resolved that the government should facilitate the funding for the establishment of this office. I think we have not had an update on that, whether our government eventually got money, but Prime Minister, maybe you could tell us where we stand with the Dubai Expo.
Right Honourable Speaker, I do agree with the general views given by the Honourable Member that Uganda has a prime place, location for this Expo 2020. I know that government is fully committed to fulfilling its obligations to ensure that this prime place is properly developed and decorated. We will follow up this matter to ensure that indeed Uganda has performed as it has promised and as it is expected.
Madam Speaker, this is how we lose out of the offers given. You remember the Prime Minister of India, the offers that he extended to Uganda. Up to now, we don't know where we are because of that reluctance the Prime Minister is showing. Because if we are saying that the prime area that was given to us, they are contemplating about degrading us, going to Nakasongola or very far from the main areas. I'm just giving an example. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was just demanding 1.6 billion to take it up. And now the finance was saying, no, it is Export Promotion Board that must take up. So there is a confusion, Madam Speaker, about what's going on in as far as Dubai Expo is concerned.
Honourable members, as I indicated earlier, we had resolved that the government should find money for this facility. Can we get a report from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, whether they got the money or did not? Yes, Anifa. Honourable Anifa Kawi.
Voice congratulate you and the rest of the colleagues who made it, and I thank those who didn't make it, that there is always a second or third chance. Madam Speaker, is exactly why I raised up. The issues of Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our government in taking things for granted or relaxing, we as a country, we have lost a lot of chances. Some time back, the government of India had offered us a space to build our embassy. And it took me that time, I was the chairperson of Equal Opportunities Committee. I put in a lot of effort through your office, and we lost that prime land. Same thing happened in Denmark, same thing happened in France, and now what the honorable member raised is the Expo. What we wanted to hear from the government, Right Honorable Prime Minister, with respect, is the same assurance. When we come to this House, we pass resolutions, we request the government humbly, and we say, please, can the government find the money so that we don't lose out on these prime offers? But when you said that you will follow up on the matter, Expo, which is 2020, now we are 2020. Put aside this money so that once this money is there, this House can move on again to say the way forward. But we cannot continue, Right Honorable Speaker, in this House, and we are passing requests, resolutions to government to look for funds. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs has never, ever come here to explain to us, even on its current foreign policy about COVID. So I want to pray that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is compelled to come here and give us a comprehensive report in its ministry. I thank you.
Honourable members, in 2018 when Prime Minister Modi was here, he gave a grant to Uganda to establish those facilities. I think the government has an obligation to tell us, have you rejected the grant? You don't want it? Why has nothing happened since 2018? So I want answers from the Foreign Office and you, Prime Minister, about the grant from India, about the resource center in Jinja at the source of the Nile and the convention center. These are grants. Also want to know the Dubai Expo. Are we agreeing to be moved out for failure to just showcase what we are? We want, Prime Minister, we want a statement seriously on these two issues.
Honourable Speaker, the views of colleagues are well taken, and it's true there should be communication from government on the issue of these grants, progress on Expo 2020, and that information is going to be given by the relevant government ministries.
Clerk, please write to all those ministries and remind them to come and report to us at the end of next week, Thursday. Let's have all those statements on that day. Item 3.
Item 3 on the order paper, laying of papers in accordance with Rule 31 of the Rules of Procedure.
Commissioner Mujuke.
Report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the divisions in Hoima Municipal Council for the year ended 30th June 2014.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the divisions in Hoima Municipal Council for the year ended 30th June 2014. I beg to lay.
Kahora Division, Hoima Municipal Council for the year ended 30th June 2014.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay a report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Kahora Division, Hoima Municipal Council for the year ended 30th June 2014. I beg to lay.
Bujumbura Division, Hoima Municipal Council for the year ended 30th June 2014.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay a report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Bujumbura Division, Hoima Municipal Council for the year ended 30th June 2014. I beg to lay.
The divisions in Fort Portal Municipal Council for the year ended 30th June 2014.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay a report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the division in Fort Portal Municipal Council for the year ended 30th June 2014. I beg to lay.
Alito Sub-County Kole District for the year ended 30th June 2014.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay a report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Alito Sub-County Kole District for the year ended 30th June 2014. I beg to lay.
Okoro Sub-County Arua District for the year ended 30th June 2014.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay a report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Okoro Sub-County Arua District for the year ended 30th June 2014. I beg to lay.
Omugo Sub-County Arua District for the year ended 30th June 2014.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay a report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Omugo Sub-County Arua District for the year ended 30th June 2014. I beg to lay.
Sub-counties in Arua District for the year ended 30th June 2014.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay a report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of sub-counties in Arua District for the year ended 30th June 2014. I beg to lay.
Vegetable Oil Development Project Phase 2, IFAD loan number 806-UG for the year ended 30th June 2020.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay a report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Vegetable Oil Development Project Phase 2, VODP2, IFAD loan number 806-UG for the year ended 30th June 2020. I beg to lay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, honourable members. Items 3(1) to 8. No, wait. 3(1) to 8 will be sent to the Public Accounts Committee, Local Government. Item 3(10) will be sent to the Public Accounts Committee, Central Government.
Item 3(9). Yeah, he does.
Go to item 10. Yes. Oh, the other was, vegetable was item 9, sorry.
Item 3(9), okay.
Sent to the Public Accounts Committee, Central Government.
Item 3(10), tax expenditure for the period October to December 2020, financial year 2020-2021.
Honourable Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay the tax expenditure for the period October to December 2020 for the financial year 2020-2021.
The members sent to the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development for perusal and report back.
3(11), Annual Report of the Petroleum Fund for financial year 2019-2020.
The members, it is also, oh, yes, Minister, please send.
Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, I beg to lay the annual report of the Petroleum Fund for the financial year 2019-2020.
The members, a report is sent to the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development for perusal and report back. Now, honour members, there is we have not been able to discuss the reports of the agencies, and they are very, very important. So maybe as the Rules Committee is reviewing the rules for the 11th Parliament, they could handle the issue of the agency reports. They are very, very important, but we have not actually had time, except for the Committee on Local Government. I think that's one which has considered some of those reports. Now, Clerk, what do we... Honourable members, today we are expected to handle the report of the Budget Committee on the National Budget Framework Paper for financial 2021, 2022, 2025, 2026. As you know, we have a deadline. This report must be in by the 1st